Hey there guys, what's up? Ragtter here, welcoming you back to another Pokémon guide. This guide will focus on the most fearsome of all Pokémon. A Pokémon that will test your mettle and prove to be both a powerful adversary and a worthy ally. This mighty Pokémon is none other than Wigglytuff. Now I know what you're thinking. I know immediately what you are thinking. Wigglytuff? Really? What makes Wigglytuff so much of a threat? Well, let's take a look at what builds up to be Wigglytuff. First of all, it's a normal fairy-type Pokémon. This is a pretty decent defensive typing that offers 2 immunities into the Ghost and Dragon-type attacks, both of which are relatively common. Gengar and Salamence are very prominent threats, and they tend to pack those types of attacks. So having Wigglytuff gives you some nice immunities on your team. Wigglytuff's stats leave much to be desired. Its greatest stat comes in the form of its HP, clocking in at a base 140, which is pretty massive, all things in fairness. Its attacking stats at 70 and 85 respectively are decent, low, but acceptable, especially with boosts. However, Wigglytuff's defenses at 45 and 50 respectively leave a whole lot to be desired, and this is Wigglytuff's greatest downfall. Even its low speed can be circumvented with different team compositions and different setups, but those defenses are going to leave you high and dry without some proper setup. So all that in mind, what is it that makes Wigglytuff so special? That comes in the form of its abilities: Cute Charm, Competitive, and Frisk. Specifically, Competitive. Competitive is an ability that when one of Wigglytuff's stats gets lowered, its special attack will then raise by 2 stages. This doubles Wigglytuff's special attack into very, very respectable levels. There's a set that floats around out there, you can find it very easily by googling for yourself, that is very commonly run on Pokémon Showdown. This featured very prominently in VGC's 2014, and I expect it to make a return in the VGC 2015 era. This Wigglytuff runs an Assault Vest for its item, Competitive for its ability, as we just discussed, a modest nature so as to reduce a useless attack and boost its special attack, and the attacks Dazzling Gleam, Fire Blast, Thunderbolt, and Hyper Beam, and you are reading that right, that does say Hyper Beam. Now when you use this Wigglytuff, you generally want to be using Dazzling Gleam or Hyper Beam to finish off weakened opponents. Fire Blast and Thunderbolt are there for coverage options, but for the most part you'll be using Dazzling Gleam and probably Hyper Beam if you have a turn to work with, or if Wigglytuff is about to faint. It's a very straightforward set to run. All you have to do is bring Wigglytuff in on an Intimidate user or on an Icy Wind user, and it will get a competitive boost. This will in turn allow Wigglytuff to sweep through most of its opposition. The EVs you'll be running on this Wigglytuff are 4 HP, 188 defense, 236 special attack, 12 special defense, and 68 speed, and you're probably thinking that is an awfully specific series of numbers. Why get so specific? And here are just a few of the perks to those EVs. The defensive EVs let you survive the neutral attacks of Landorus Therian, Gyarados, and Arcanine, those 3 Pokemon specifically because they are the biggest users of Intimidate. Therefore, you'll want Wigglytuff to be going up against them as often as possible, and with Wigglytuff's frail defenses, you'll be needing as much investment as you can without hindering your other stats so that it can survive earthquakes, waterfalls, rock slides, close combats, all of these that Wigglytuff is not weak to, but that these Pokemon commonly carry. The Assault Vest is an item that you use just to cover Wigglytuff's less than stellar special defense. There's nothing really specific you want to be blocking here, but it does protect Wigglytuff from the neutral special attacks it will inevitably take. The speed EVs are specially tailored in order to let Wigglytuff outspeed the common Mega Mawile. Mawile is another common Intimidate user, and being able to get off a Fire Blast onto Mega Mawile before it can lay into Wigglytuff with its Steel-type attacks is a definite boon for this set. Now, just to put into perspective what that 2+ boost will let you KO, like I said before with Mega Mawile, you'll be able to KO Salamence, Garchomp, Hydreigon, and Landorus Therian. Now that's a pretty tall order, and you're probably wondering, how? Well, with a little team setup, anything is possible for Wigglytuff. First of all, you'll be wanting some speed control, and this will help Wigglytuff stay ahead of the curve against other threats. To help it accomplish this, Thundurus and Suicune both make for good partners. Thundurus, with its ability Prankster, can spread thunder waves and taunt to prevent enemy setups, and this makes Wigglytuff's life a lot easier. The paralysis will have the opponent's speed, and will sometimes give them the chance to not attack. Thundurus is a very valuable opponent for Wigglytuff in that regard. Suicune provides the Tailwind support. Tailwind allowing Wigglytuff and the rest of Suicune's team to have increased speed for several turns. Suicune also brings Snarl, which allows it to lower the special attack of both Pokemon on the opponent's side, and Scald, which has a chance to burn, thus having the physical attack. Suicune is also a great tank, and can sponge hits for Wigglytuff if you need a safe switch. Speaking of sponging hits, these two bulky Pokemon make for excellent additions to a team with Wigglytuff. Rotom Wash and Arcanine both provide Will-O-Wisp support, and like I mentioned before, the burned Pokemon will have its physical attack halved, and that makes Wigglytuff's job of taking hits a lot easier. Rotom Wash provides strong electric and water type coverage along with immunity to ground, and Arcanine provides bulky fire typing, along with a variety of supporting attacks in the form of Morning Sun and Will-O-Wisp. Rotom Wash can also pack the Reflect to further bolster Wigglytuff's defenses. Fake Out users are another tool you can use to protect Wigglytuff. Fake Out will cause one of the opponent's Pokemon to flinch, meaning it won't be able to attack during that turn, so this can be a useful way to secure Wigglytuff a guaranteed attack. The two most common users of Fake Out are Raichu and Ludicolo. Raichu providing an immunity to electric type attacks by drawing it in with its Lightning Rod, and Ludicolo providing sweeping potential with its Swift Swim ability, should you choose to run a rain team. Both these Pokemon have very useful typing in the form of electric and then water and grass, and fit well onto most teams. Speaking of useful grass types, Amoonguss provides excellent damage redirection in the form of its Rage Powder attack. Rage Powder will draw all attacks the enemy uses to Amoonguss, and this can save Wigglytuff from attacks it does not want to take. And finally, Wigglytuff is very slow, and thus Trick Room support would be greatly appreciated. And no other Pokemon provides this better than Cresselia, who will then turn Wigglytuff into a speedy sweeper that can blow through the opposition. Wigglytuff also forms a decent spread core with Heatran. With Heatran's Heat Wave and Wigglytuff's Dazzling Gleam, you can put a tremendous amount of offensive pressure on the opponent by whittling down their cores with Pokemon that are pretty hard to hit. Heatran can also be used defensively to protect Wigglytuff from poison-type attacks. And that wraps up pretty much everything I have to say about Wigglytuff. It's a straightforward Pokemon to use, but it does take a lot of skill to get right. But when you do, Wigglytuff is a surprise Pokemon that most of your opponents will not be prepared to deal with. Sure, they might pack steel or poison-type attacks, but they're not expecting to get swooped by Wigglytuff. Not only that, but Wigglytuff is generally a strong Pokemon, but you do have to play around its many weaknesses. When you do though, it becomes a formidable ally, and one that is definitely worth trying out for yourself. If you do find this Wigglytuff set interesting, and you want to give Wigglytuff a shot for yourself, let me know, and let me know how the results went. I'd love to know if my guide helped you, and led you to trying out a Pokemon you might not have used before. Until next time guys, take care, and have a good one. Bye bye!